Welcome to A Place for Film, the IU Cinema podcast. On this week's episode, we're doing recommendations. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Andy Hunsucker.
And I'm Jason Thompson.
And this is our show. For those of you who are watching this right now, this is the first episode that we're doing on YouTube. And we're giving it a shot. We hope it's going to be entertaining. I don't have a dance planned or anything like that. I don't know how we're going to earn the video, but...
Can we get somebody to sign language in the corner?
That would be it. That would do it.
That'd be
that
amazing.
would do it. I'm sure we have someone at the speech and hearing school that can do that. So just to introduce ourselves a bit for those of you who are watching us for the very first time, this is the IU Cinema podcast. We're attached to the Indiana University Cinema, the local university-run cinema here on the Indiana University campus in Bloomington, Indiana. And we've been doing this show for about a year and a half now, and we talk about movies. We talk about all kinds of movies. We talk about movies we like, movies we hate. We talk about old movies, new movies, horror movies, sci-fi movies, adventure movies, movies that came out last week, movies that came out before there was sound, before there was any language of film. So we talk about all kinds of movies, and that's about it. We always try to have smart people on the show because we're not that smart.
Rises the level of entertainment.
Exactly. So
Credibility, same thing.
So this week, the smart person we have on is James Paasche, grad student in Communication and Culture Department here, which houses the Film Studies department.
Yes. There's a couple different tracks within the department, but Film Studies is one of them. Film and Media Studies.
Yeah.
But I'm a film guy.
Yeah. And we're not going to use any of the smart stuff that you are studying today.
No.
We're going to just throw all that out the window and just go into it and just talk about whatever random movies come up.
Sounds great.
So
I'm ready.
So we have a little game that we like to play sometimes, and I had totally almost forgotten about the game. And then last week, John Vickers, the director of the cinema, was on the show, and he was like, "You guys aren't going to play your game?"
Well, we always play it with them.
Yeah, that's right.
We always seem to just get around to it.
Yeah, and this is the recommendations game. So recommendations, we name a category, and it could be as simple as an action movie, or it could be something complex, like a movie set in this time period that was released in this time frame, or something like that. We try to get creative with it. So we haven't done that in a while. So we're going to try that today and see how it goes. And James is here to help us out.
I have so many recommendations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on, we used to do this thing a long time ago, and we stopped doing it because we sort of ran out of material. But it's been about a year since we did it, and we have more. I have more material because this is for my benefit. This is for no one else's benefit. So
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a big DVD collection. I have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays, and I just collect them obsessively. And I don't always watch all of them, and that's the problem. I really feel like I should be watching all the DVDs and Blu-rays I buy.
It's usually how it works.
Yes, that's what a normal human being would do, not me. But so what I'm going to do, what we used to do, and we'll start doing again, and I'm not going to do this every week, but once in a while I'll bring in a stack. I bring in 3 DVDs or Blu-rays of my collection, and I hand them to Jason, and he says, "You watch this one." And then I have to watch that before the next week's episode. So I've got a stack of DVDs here, and I'll try to hold them up into camera so you guys can see them. The first one is 12 Angry Men, which is one that I haven't had this for a long time. This only came out about February, March, somewhere in there. So that's the first one. Classic film, all-time classic, Sidney Lumet.
You have not seen this?
I've never seen that one. I've never seen that one.
That's really surprising.
This is one that I have not had for very long. I've only had this one for a few weeks, but I really, found it looked interesting. It's called The Phantom Carriage. It's a horror film from 1921. And I heard about this one. It sort of has a scene that's very reminiscent of the scene in The Shining, when Jack Nicholson is trying to break through the door. That's what I've heard. I don't know if this is actually true or not. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And then finally, The Leopard. This is one that Jim Naramore recommended to both of us a long time ago. And he said it was when we were talking about Magnificent Ambersons. And he said this was like one of the best sort of period dramas that doesn't take a side in a conflict, so sort of like Magnificent Ambersons. It doesn't really take a side about who's right or who's wrong. It just sort of tells the story of this family. So there's the 3, Jason. And it is up to you to decide which one I will watch.
They're all Criterions.
They are. Well, I mean, that's mostly what I buy right now. If it's like a Hollywood movie, then usually I buy less of those. I try to think more about it like, what do I want in my collection? I want to be really hoity-toity about it. I want to get my monocle out, and I want to put it in, and that's what I want to do while I watch my movies.
This last one is 3 hours long.
Exactly. I was scared to put it in there because I thought just automatically, because it's 3 hours, you would force me to watch the 3 hour long movie.
You just planted that seed. I hadn't even thought of that. Honestly, I'm very surprised that you haven't just randomly seen 12 Angry Men, even just portions of it, especially on television.
I've seen clips, but I've never seen the whole thing. Like, I know the idea. I know the basic idea of the film, but I've never seen it all the way through.
I would. That one is kind of my top contender, simply based on sort of the shock factor. I didn't expect you to know these other two. But again, you have planted the 3 hour seed. So.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Since I know time is an issue for you sometimes, I will make you watch 12 Angry Men because it is the shortest movie by 10 minutes.
Yes.
The Phantom Carriage was 10 minutes longer.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. 12 Angry Men. Next week, you'll hear me talk about 12 Angry Men, audience. So let's get into the game this week. And this game we've been playing it forever. And the idea is that I've come up with some categories. And we used to do this like everyone would be surprised by the categories. And that just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Well, not if we're trying to make a whole episode out of it.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's people sitting here like this. I don't know. Let me think about that. Come back to me. It's like, so we all know the categories. Hopefully, we've all written down a couple at least for these. And I came up with the categories. Jason came up with some of the categories, and so we'll let's get into it. First category: a movie with an actor in a role unlike the kind he normally played. So. The one that I thought of, the one that made me think of this category was Anatomy of a Murder, which is a Jimmy Stewart movie. And Jimmy Stewart we normally associate with,
Aw, shucks.
Yeah, exactly. He plays more characters from Indiana for someone who's not from Indiana than I think anyone. He is the image of what people think, we as people from Indiana are like.
Western boy.
Exactly. Yeah. But he plays it like a sleazy defense attorney in this, and he just wants to win the case. He just wants to get the guy off of the murder charges. He doesn't care whether or not he did it. He isn't trying to prove him innocent because it's the right thing to do. He's just getting paid, and he's just doing it because that's the thing that he's being paid to do. This is and it's such a great movie. And George C. Scott is in this. This is like one of his first film roles, and he's amazing, as you would expect George C. Scott to be. It's directed by Otto Preminger, who directed one of your favorites, Jason.
Man with the Golden Arm.
Yeah.
There we go.
So highly recommend it. That one just came out on Criterion as well, which is why I was thinking about it.
And that movie, it actually would fit too, Man with the Golden Arm. Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Completely. Heroin addict.
Yeah.
Gambler. Nobody. I mean, might have been closer to the truth. I don't know. But
he took his research seriously.
He may have. But yeah, that's another one. You just completely came up with it for me. But I had a few others. But yeah, that one works. I mean, because especially when I discovered it, I mean, I was clearly way past Frank Sinatra. I'm a fan, but I mean, disconnected from it in such a way. But just sort of my knowing of Frank Sinatra was nowhere near where this character is, especially the fact of them dealing with heroin at that time in such a visual way too was really
it's such a strange film too. Like, I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's a great one. And yeah, Anatomy of a Murder. I never honestly associate the director with both movies, but it makes a lot of sense when you start piecing them together. A lot of the visual style is the same.
Yeah. You have one?
Sure. Yeah. I was gonna cheat and talk about Rampart in that one, but I had another one and backed up, and one I've been thinking about a lot lately because I recently watched Jack and Jill, which was not good.
Yeah,
that would make one of our previous guests very happy to hear.
But Adam Sandler and Punch Drunk Love. Which is a movie that I really love. One of my favorite movies of the last couple decades.
Yeah,
and he's so good in that film.
Another one of those movies where it splits audiences. People are just either hate it or they love it. I've always found that. I've never found anybody that thought it was just okay. Yeah, like it's just like I don't know why I saw this, or like this is great. I think it just has to do a lot with people's association with his abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people just go and see an Adam Sandler
Sure.
movie, and so that's not an Adam Sandler
No.
movie at all.
No.
It's a Paul Thomas Anderson
Exactly.
movie.
And that just made me think of another possible category. I didn't write this one down, but that movie is sort of like Paul Thomas Anderson's like forgotten movie.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the one that he made Boogie Nights, and he made the
There Will
oil
Be
movie
Blood.
There Will Be Blood, and Punch Drunk Love's kind of the one in the middle there that people don't really remember.
Yeah.
But another one that could fit in there, like a director's forgotten movie that I think about all the time, is The Game.
Oh yeah,
Fincher's The
Yeah,
Game.
that's
He's
that's
like
a really good.
he's this
film.
big famous director. He's done all this stuff, but The Game was like right after Seven, and I don't think people like remember that movie, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, I won't make you guys do a category off the cuff that I just came up with 5 seconds ago.
I
but-
mean,
We
give,
could.
give
All right,
me,
go
give me
for
a
it.
second. I could figure it out. Well, you mentioned Seven. That was going to be mine for Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay.
Again, plays
Yeah.
kind of a character that you're not expecting,
Yeah.
kind of comes out of nowhere.
Literally. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quite creepy. Kind of a completely different role for him. Almost in reverse, though, because I don't know if a ton of people knew who Kevin Spacey was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seven happened, and people still kind of just, but then his career really took off. And then when you go
American
back and
Beauty,
watch it, you're like,
after that, yeah.
he was,
Yeah.
he was John Doe.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so let's just do a couple more of these categories. Let's do a movie with an actor from the Star Wars prequels. And Jason, you threw this one out there.
I did.
And you said as many as you can name.
As many. So like you pick one of the actors, then you name a movie, and then you just roll on to another actor. So there's 3 main ones.
Yeah.
With a few secondary ones. We've got Ewan McGregor.
Okay, that's
We've
an
got
easy one.
Liam Neeson,
Yep,
Natalie Portman,
sure.
Hayden Christensen.
That one I could not name another Hayden Christensen movie to save my life.
I've got a Hayden Christensen.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. There's
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson.
Okay, well that's an easy one.
That's easy.
Jar Jar Binks.
He shows up in so many movies now.
Oh, it's so annoying. He was in the Avengers and just ruined it for
That'd
me.
be great if he just kept popping up in movies.
People just kept licensing the rights to
It's kind of how that Cop Munch character keeps popping up in different procedurals.
Yeah.
George Lucas sets up a deal with THX, and he's like, "All right, now you can be signed up for THX, but every single movie that you show in your theater has to have Jar Jar Binks in
Yeah,
it."
you get a discount on
shows
your
up in-
ILM bill.
He shows up in Red Tails. They just fire him just straight
That's
to
not the movie for him to be in.
No, it's actually not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kenny Baker,
Sure.
Anthony Daniels. I don't know.
Yeah,
That
why
would be a
not?
stretch. And I mean, I'm sure there's somebody just screaming out other people's names.
Yeah.
But let's just go with, like, that's the core.
Okay.
Like that's the core group. So Ewan McGregor. Let's start off with that.
I'm gonna go. I mean, I feel like we've
We
talked
have
about Ewan
a little
McGregor
bit.
movies before a long time ago. I love Ewan McGregor as an actor. I'm gonna go with the one I went with last time, which is one I don't think enough people have seen: A Life Less Ordinary.
Okay.
It's him and Cameron Diaz.
Oh yeah, the Danny Boyle one.
Yeah,
right?
and you just like forget about it because
Yeah.
it's sort of light and fluffy, but it's Danny Boyle, so it's got like a nice style to it.
It's also available on Netflix Instant Watch.
Is it?
I think it's in my queue.
Yeah, okay.
I would
I
go
might
with
watch it again.
another Danny Boyle movie for Ewan McGregor, and that'd be Shallow Grave, the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
first Danny Boyle one, or I believe
Well,
that was his first film.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a nice thriller.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called. Is it Night Watch?
Yeah.
That movie's great. I love that
Is
movie.
Nick Nolte's in that one too? No?
Yeah, I think so. And it's got Patricia Arquette
Yeah.
plays
yeah.
his wife, I think, maybe his girlfriend, fiance, something like that.
There's some kind of weird experiments going on. And
Some
he's
weird
a security
He's
guard.
a security
right?
guard, yeah. And it's always on like 4 a.m. But then if you can actually get your hands on the actual copy of the movie, it's got a little bit more to chew on. But
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's a weird one. It's my same obsession with Eye of the Beholder, which we've talked about before.
Yes.
It's along that same lines where it's just either you love it or you're just kind of like, it's whatever. But yeah, Eye of the Beholder would be the other one I could think of. So Liam Neeson. I'm going to go with the more recent The Gray.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's amazing in that movie. He carries the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like I would just watch that character out in the wilderness, not say a single word for, I'm going to say 4 hours.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3, but since
Maybe we should kidnap Liam Neeson
We
and
should.
just throw him out on a wild reserve and see what happens.
I mean,
film it.
we could probably pull it off, and he
Yeah.
would come out alive and with many tales. I could say that. I mean, that movie has stuck with me since I've seen it, and I just want to see it again so badly. But I just feel like if I see it again, it'll just lose its flavor because it was just one of those movies that on a whim I went and saw in the theater and just enjoyed it straight through.
Yeah.
Just start to finish. Such a good movie. So I think it just recently came out on DVD.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I may have to go buy it and then watch it, Andy.
Wait. Hold on a second. You're saying that when you buy a DVD,
Yes.
you don't like unwrap it and then sit it on a shelf for 6 months?
I generally open it and then watch it.
That's weird.
It is so weird, I know.
That is weird. So last category. This is hopefully this one will be fun. A movie with an amazing title. So a movie with a title that doesn't matter what else you've seen about the movie. The title itself just makes you want to see the movie. And for me, this is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Like, isn't that a great title?
Yeah.
Like, oh God, everyone out there in the audience is sitting there like, I gotta find that movie. Like, what's that about? It's Jimmy Stewart and John
Jimmy
Wayne,
Stewart, yeah.
and it's John Ford's like last really great movie. I mean, it's an amazing movie. But
Yeah, I like the titles that are very blunt and tell you something, like
yeah,
the assassination of what's his name?
Assassination of Jesse
Jesse
James.
Jesse James by the coward Robert
Yeah,
Seaford.
that was you.
That's a good one.
You stole it right
Oh,
out of my
sorry,
hand.
sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. Just because I've never seen a longer title in my life.
Yeah.
and the movie lived up to the long title
Yep.
because it was
Yeah.
long.
Yes.
That was a long
Dark.
movie, and it felt even longer.
Yeah. We mentioned this one earlier. There Will Be Blood.
That's a great
Yeah.
title.
That's a great
That's a
title.
great
Think of
title.
that as well.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
One I wanted to bring up because Werner Herzog's coming here in the fall, and I'm really excited about his visit. But when I was starting to get into film, and I saw Fitzcarraldo, which is not a great title, but I saw that film. I'm like, I'm going to check out some other films by this guy because I really like that film. And I was looking through his filmography, and I came across Even Dwarfs Started Small, and it is a trippy film.
Yeah.
A great title, and he makes so many films now that are about finding the truth, and everything is real and very real and true and hard, and his old films are trippy as heck.
Yeah.
they are.
And Even Dwarfs Started Small, featuring an all-dwarf cast.
Oh wow,
is one of those films.
that's really cool.
I think I'm tapped out.
Yeah, I think we've named every movie in existence.
yeah,
not
we love
quite.
them all.
I mean, I write them down, and we're not quite
Yes.
down to the
I
bottom
was
of the
thinking
note card.
I was looking for some, and I like silly ones like Kindergarten Cop or something like
Yeah.
that. But then I started looking up translations. Like,
Oh, okay.
there's so many sites now where you can look up the names of films. Like Leaving Las Vegas and was translated in Japan to I'm Drunk and You're a Prostitute. And so like those ones really get me
So
going.
it gives away a little bit of what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
That's a good fun hour to waste on the internet is looking
Yeah.
up translated titles.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
And I'm assuming that's what they put on the poster too, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
oh, that's great. All right. Well, how about we get out of here?
Okay.
James, thanks again for coming on the
Yeah,
show.
anytime. Thanks a lot.
By the
Thanks,
w-
audience.
Yes, we're going to come back. You're going to come back soon
Yeah.
to talk about the City Lights series,
Yeah,
which
City
you
Lights.
help program.
Yeah, we have a bunch of heavy hitters this fall.
Yeah. John told us. I think John told us most of the list already, but we're going to sit down and talk about them.
Yeah.
You're going to have to explain why you chose the ones you did.
Yes,
and
I'm ready.
it should be good. But all right, so let's get out of here. I'm Andy.
I'm Jason.
This has been, and always will be, A Place for Film. A Place for Film is recorded at WFIU Studios in Bloomington, Indiana.